All right. Special request from my teammates, especially Joe. Once again, this is for you, Joe. This is your Valentine's gift. I'm going to play some T5 with my low level account so we can see what the low level clubs look like out here. Hopefully, I can get some of these Sharuba Springs holes, but nobody wants to replay, so we're getting a lot of Maple Bay. I'm going to play, I'll try and, I'll set a timer again, and I will try and play most of my pin chest here, see if we can get this done. Let me set my timer. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, timer. All right, we got a timer going. Let's open up a chest. Let's get some slots open. Harvesting club cards. Why are we harvesting club cards? Because we're trying to upgrade our clubs. You'll always have low level clubs. It's just the way the game works. I'm just the messenger, man. If you don't have gems so that you can speed those chests up when you're out playing. If you're out playing and you have all four of your slots full and you're winning every time you win, that's probably anywhere. If you're playing in Tour 5, you're talking about maybe 50 to 60 club cards every single time you don't open up one of those chests. And what we're trying to do is just like here, I'm trying to get our clubs upgraded. So going from level 7 to level 8 on my Saturn. Now, most of these commons, the Saturn, the Sniper, the Claw, they don't start showing their true potential until they get to level 8. They're very usable when they're below that. But when these commons start getting to level 8 is when you really start to see these clubs start to pull away from the pack. And these are going to be a lot of your primary clubs as you go up until you can get those rares developed. So these common clubs are awesome clubs, and they can do a lot. They're great utility clubs, great clubs to go out and practice with. If you've got upper developed clubs, the Saturn, the Claw, those are great clubs to practice with because you can go out to holes and you can go, hey, I'm going to do the bounce over, or I'm going to do the rough bump, or I want to do the backspin, and those clubs can get all of that done. Where there's clubs like a Hornet that are more accurate, there's clubs like a Thorn that has more backspin. Those clubs are specialty clubs. Those commons, when you start getting like I said, especially level 8, those clubs become the clubs. Sharuba Springs, hole 3, par 5. This hole right here, if you have lower developed clubs, is going to beat your butt because I do not know if we can get up and down on this hole with our lower developed stuff because it is a monster. Where we need to get is out into this area here, and I'm not sure that it's possible. I'm going to bring out, because I want to try this shot in this account. This club does not have as much topspin. It does not have as much curl. I'm going to come in. I'm going to put the edge of my yellow ring right on the transition between the fairway and the rough. I'm going to take the wind out. I'm curious to see what kind of distance I'll get if I can catch that fairway pad out there, like what kind of distance I can get if I don't hit that flagpole. If I can catch this fairway. I've been practicing this shot with my main account. I came in just a little bit too far. On my main account, I've been putting the yellow ring on the fully in the rough, and the transition between my yellow ring and my orange ring, right there on the transition between the rough and the fairway with my Titan. Max topspin, max side spin, max curl, max overpower shot, hook, the whole 9 yards, and just catching this. And what my goal is to clip through this, is to completely go over that sand, clip the rough, and end up on the fairway on the other side. And after I get done with that, I'm going to solve world peace and hunger. But I'm going to figure that shot out first because it's probably tougher. It's not going to be easy. Even if we bring out big stuff here, it's just not going to be easy with a low-level account. The goal would be to get out into this area right here. If you're out in that area right there, you can get up and down with a big dog. I will move the ball forward. I'm going to move the ball forward just because in this account, my coin situation is such that I can't afford to play as cavalier as I do in my 77 account, where I really don't care if I win or lose. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that play me in one-on-one, and they see the trophies and stuff, and then they win because I'm out there doing some dinky thing, and then they're like, yeah, I beat this guy with a whole bunch of trophies. And they did. They beat me. But I really don't care in one-on-one whether I'm winning or losing, other than the times that I'm going out and I'm trying to harvest some chests. So when I'm playing these lower tours, I really don't care. But if I'm out trying to harvest chests on those days, I'm a little bit more serious. But I usually play pretty cavalier because I'm not worried about coins. Once you get, if you've got an account and you're playing rookie, once you get to 2 million coins, you're golden. If you're just playing rookie, you'll be fine. If you start playing Tour 7 and above, that's gonna, especially when you play Tour 7, that's gonna last you for a while. You can't afford to lose too many in a row. But coins are an issue. I have no idea how that's going to respond up there. It's 2.5 per ring. So that leaves me 11. So that's about a ring and a half. I'm going to go just a little over, maybe towards a ring and 2/3, just to kind of fight off that headwind. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if that backspin's enough to stick me on the green, or if I end up blowing past it. Yeah, that was a pretty good track too, as far as line going to the cup. I got my little too much backspin. It's definitely hard to tell, exactly what's going to happen when you have lower developed clubs because of your ball guide. But the thing is that on these holes, we're going to have to bring out a big dog, and it doesn't really matter if you've got an upper developed big dog or a lower developed big dog, your ball guide blows. It never really develops killer ball guide. And it does get to the point where its accuracy is right at it's like at 2.1 per ring. So it's right around 44, 45%, somewhere in there, accurate. Which is a familiar number because it matches up with your extra mile. Because when the extra mile is maxed out, it's still at 2.1 per ring. This is definitely going to be a hole for people that have lower developed clubs that's going to be tough to get an eagle on. It's going to be one of those par fives. And there's only a few par fives in the game that I can think of off the top of my head that normally we go to a par five and our thought process is put ourselves in the perfect position to pick up the Albie, and if we don't, we get eagle, we go home. This is going to be one of those holes where we're trying to put ourselves in the perfect position to get eagle. In my upper developed account, I'm going to continue to work that max overpower hook shot because I really do believe there's a way for us to put ourselves in a spot where we have an Albie shot. It won't be a good one, but we will have at least a look at Albie. Will Booney goes first. Let's see how they approach this hole. There's a bunch of different ways that you can play this hole. Probably, and with a 7-6 headwind, I've been playing this hole a lot, doing the rough bump. You do a rough bump right down in this area right here, and it's not too bad of a rough bump. But I am not, man. That 7-6 headwind that is a narrow little area to do a rough bump, especially with lower developed clubs, and to be doing it against the 7-6 headwind is going to be rough. Rough. I'm going to have a big dog doing it, so that's not going to improve my odds any, and I'm right in between clubs, right where I need to be. So I'm going to do the bounce over, and I need to give myself enough room to be able to get that done. Definitely want to make sure I'm in front of my opponent. If I can get up there on the thing, it'll roll up that hill and then it'll roll back down to the cup. It's 2 per ring, so there's 2, 4, 6. And I'm going to do a little bit of, that's probably about a 5% adjustment. And I hit it great to the right. It was anticipation. And it'll roll up there and then it'll just drift right back down towards the cup. Almost in the hole. Good game. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Are you thinking about it, or did you walk away from your phone? Or did you throw your phone? Come on. Oh, come on, dude. Jeez. Yesterday, I was so irritated yesterday. I played probably 30 matches yesterday. I think I saw every hole, but I still haven't seen hole number 8. I did catch all the other holes, and there were several of them that I caught a couple times, and I was forcing shootouts. So I may have played in 30 holes, and of those 30, I probably went to 25 shootouts because I was forcing shootouts. And so I got 30 holes plus 25. I played about 55 holes yesterday, and I think I probably hit 15 of the Sharuba Springs because nobody wanted to replay. I had 2 people that wanted to replay, and as soon as they hit replay, we got Sharuba Springs. Like, we got the next hole, the shootout, the next hole, and the shootout, and we started getting Sharuba Springs. Replay. Come on, man. You want to have friends, don't you? Maple Bay. This is the problem. Keeping it up on Maple Bay. So if you're new to the game, welcome. And don't worry too much about your clubs. Don't worry too much about your trophy count. Don't buy into the whole thing that the community tells you that you got to do this or you got to do that. Go out there and play and have fun. If you decide that you want to be one of those players that goes up to max trophies, then go up to max trophies. Don't worry about it. If you decide that, hey, I just want to play and have fun and I don't want to go up to max trophies, then don't go up to max trophies. We are definitely not going to hold it against you. Hitting it perfect. See if I can catch that fairway area. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Hit the rough, bounced out. That's the shot that you're going to take in tournaments on this hole. And you can get that down easier with a power 5 ball, or excuse me, a power 3 ball. Titan. You probably won't have to do any overpower. In one-on-one play, depending on if the wind's not right, even if the wind is enough, if I have a huge headwind here, I will go the shot to the right. And I find that the shot to the right is best done with a big dot or a big topper. Has tons of topspin, tons of curl. And it's one of those holes that the farther you push it forward, the more it digs in. So you need to pull it back a little bit so you get more distance on it. But if the wind is right and I can reach it, I always play to this side. Even if I know I'm not going to be able to get up, I'm going to end up in the sand, I always play on that side because you can always get up from over there and get on the green, and you have a serious chance of putting it in the hole. If you hit to the other side and you end up in the rough or the sand, you're in big trouble. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. And this is an absolutely, in tournament play, this is a par 4 that you absolutely, positively have to get an eagle on. My team president calling me. Yeah, we had a big shakeup last tournament. I had so much stuff going on the week before. All of the holes were on Sunshine Glades. I played those holes since the game came out. I'm super familiar with them. I shot a walkthrough and shot some stuff, and then as the week progressed, I got progressively worse as the week went on. I think I peaked when I did the walkthrough. And I was so busy and I had so many things going on that I didn't even make the weekend round on my main account. The best round that I shot was the weekend round in my practice account. I finally shot the minimum score. That's how bad a week it was. All right. Let's go back in and see if we can get another one rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. This is the first day I've ever actually played. I've accidentally went into T5 a couple times. You know how it is when you open it up and you've got that one tour that's open. You'll sometimes just click on it on reflex and not be paying attention. I think I've played maybe 1 or 2 T5 matches since I started this account about a year ago. But typically, this is just an account for tournaments, just to demo. I started this account just so that I could demo low-level clubs. To help a lot of you out as you're going up trying to get your clubs developed. All right, let's see what my opponent does. They got a Marlin. That might be too much topspin. Maybe. It looks like they're going to clip it and then see if they bounce out. They did not bounce out. I'll switch to a Marlin just to keep up with the Joneses. We'll see how much topspin it takes to get myself over. I'm going to get right about there. But just titch more topspin. I'm going to go with 3, and I'm going to do a little bit of overpower to try and get me over there. So I need to do about 3/4 of a ring of overpower and a little bit of curl. It's 2.5 per ring. So we're eking towards a little less than 1/3 of a ring. I'll put some curl on it to bring it back into the fatter part of the fairway and a little bit of overpower. Hitting it great to the left. You'll find yourself doing that a lot. And if you can get out there towards the tip and you clip that sand, you're doing a sand bump, and it will kick you forward into the fairway. You want to be able to take this shot from the fairway because you have a serious chance of putting this in the hole here, especially if you know your short iron numbers. And my short iron numbers are 1.2, 2.1, and 2.4. So I'm using a Kingfisher. And from this distance, I'm probably either going to be mid to max, somewhere in that neighborhood. See if my opponent can get up. Hitting it great to the right. Hitting up great to the right. Nice shot. Nice shot. Let's encourage them. Maybe they'll replay us if we give them some positive feedback. I'm in my Saturn, so I'm right at the transition. So I'm going to have to play this with my Saturn. I was hoping I was in my max club. Do max backspin. I'm going to get right up on it. I'm going to do max backspin. Try and get right up on it. That third bounce going right in the cup. Okay, it's 2.0 per ring. Well, it's a mid club or minimum club. So we're probably in the 3, go about a half a ring. And I'm going to have to snap this off because I'm running out of time. Hitting it perfect. Ooh, just a bit short. Just a bit short. Right on track, though. And I have those numbers written down in front of me, and I was sitting here trying to do the math in my head, and I already wrote the numbers down. So it's 3.5 at minimum club for the Saturn. Close. No cigar. That's all right. I'm not afraid of shootouts. I don't mind going to shootouts, especially when we're looking for new holes like this. So we're looking for these new par 3s. So I'm not, but I never get wigged out or bummed that we're going to shootouts. Yeah, shootouts are something you have to deal with. The goal is to win 50% of your matches out on the course. And the way you do that is by staying in the fairway. If you stay in the fairway, especially when you have a lower developed count, and it's pretty much the same when you get upper developed stuff, if you stay in the fairway, you will win about 50% of your matches. I'm in my big dog here with that wind. Man, that's a tough rough bump from right there. Tough. Got just a narrow little spit. Man, where am I at in my club? I don't think I like that, because I'm going to be in minimum club and I have to do some weird stuff. So I'm going to just go ahead and just kick it over. 3.7, it's 2.0 per ring. That's about a 2-ring pool. Now I'll have to snap it off once again because I'm running out of time. Talking, hitting it perfect. See if I can get that trajectory right where it'll bleed down. It's going to end up off the green. I need a little bit more backspin on it. And it's actually counterintuitive. You need a little bit more backspin, and I should have put on a little bit more right-hand side spin. And what the right-hand side spin does is when it hits, instead of it, because the terrain is drifting you to the left and pulling you to the left, it hits, and then it fights that, and it almost comes to a stop and then rolls straight down. If you put left-hand side spin on it there, it hits and then it just follows the terrain of the course and you will end up off the green. So the way to get it to stop and then roll down, and hopefully you got the right trajectory going, is to put on that right-hand side spin so that it fights that left-hand drop. Isn't it great? Another win in the bag. Good game. Come on, Jimmy. Let's see if we'll replay. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Jeez. Nobody wants to replay. Everybody wants to do one and done. I guess they want to go lose to somebody else. Not now. How much time we got left on our timer? Let's see here. We obviously have enough time to play one more. Now we got 22 minutes, so we got a little bit of time left on our timer. I better go in there and open up one of those chests. If you are trying to replay, it's always good to have at least 2 slots open. My goal is to win 66% of my matches. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So if I play somebody and they replay me, when we get 3 in, I have the opportunity to pick up the 2 chests that I was looking for. I want to win. I was talking about it earlier. I want to win 50% of my matches out on the field by staying in the fairway. And then I want to win 50% of my shootouts. And that'll make you a 75% win percentage. All right, we got one of the par 5s. This one here, I came to this earlier and I brought a Marlin and it didn't have enough side spin and power, but I'm going to use a Titan and a big topper, and I'm going to come from the right and bring it back to the left and see if I can get out into this fairway here. I have been on this hole twice. The first 2 times I played this hole with my upper developed account, I got Albie. And the first time I think I hit it great to the right and it went in. And then the next time I hit it great to the left and it went in. I haven't hit it perfect yet, but I have gotten 2 Albies on this hole. Look. I'm going to bring a big ball. And I'm going to bring my number 3 bag. I want to try this shot out. I want to see what we can get, what we can accomplish out here with this big topper. All the topspin I can muster. I'm going to give myself, now normally when I'm doing big curl shots, I like to give myself more room, but I'm only going to give myself 2 rings. It's 2.5 per ring, so that leaves me 8. That's about a third. That's about a ring and a third. Max curl. Oh, and I hit it. 2 rings great to the right. And that's going to put me once again in the rough. I've been in this hole twice, and I've screwed that drive up both times. The first time I came out here with a Marlin, that was my mistake. I should have brought a bigger ball. Now I brought a bigger ball, and I ended up in the same spot. I was hoping that we would get a pretty good look at it with the big topper up there at the top to bring it back to the left. But it may be one of those situations where we go down to the bottom with a big ball and we try and bring it back up to the right. Next time I get on it, I'm going to play it from the lower one, play it from down here, and try and bring my ball up to the tip over here. That might be easier. Because my whole goal here is to just get anywhere out into this area. All right, 15% power. I guess I'm sitting here next to my power cord. I don't know why I wasn't plugged in earlier. So let's plug that sucker in. See if we can get some charge on our battery. 6.3 tailwind. Level 1 B52. I've never played with my B52. I've always had another club that was better. By the time I started getting club cards, I didn't get and I still haven't gotten a lot of club cards for my B52. Am I down a shot here? I've been paying attention. I've been talking and just not paying attention. My opponent's taken 3, I've taken 2, so we're on the same track. Okay, I'm going to do the rough bump. A little bit of topspin on there to try and blast me out of that rough. I'm going to come over a little bit more so I can put some curl on it. Okay, it's 2.5 per ring, so that's about a 2-ring pull. I'm going to do a little extra. I'm going to put a little bit of curl on it to bring it back towards the cup. Hitting it perfect. Just try and bleed myself up there in front and give myself a chip to get on. So the last time I was on this hole, I did that same rough bump with this account, and I think I put on about 3 topspin. I was a little bit deeper in the hole. There I put on about 4. So to get up there, it's probably going to take 5 to 6. That's one of those things. This is why we practice, because we have limited ball guide. You can't tell where it's going to go. You put all the topspin on there, and the next thing you know, you're on the next hole. All right, from this distance, wind should not play a factor. But we do need to hit it perfect, though. And I hit it great to the right. In the hole. I was close enough that a great to the left or the right would go in. Barely. Never count your coins in this game until you've actually see the winner over your name. I don't know how many times my opponent's been in serious trouble and I went out there and then they sank some monster shot and ended up catching up and then beating me in the shootout. So never count your coins until you see winner over your name. Same thing for your opponents. I've broke a lot of people's hearts making shots and doing stuff, and then turn around and beat them in the shootout. See if my opponent, where they're going to end up. They hit it perfect, so whatever they set up, that should be as true as it's going to be. 5.14. See if I can do a little better than that. Preferably, I'd like to be 5.14 better. Just a little bit of backspin. Trying to go straight towards the cup. So it's 5.9. I'm on my notes. I have a 10%, so that's 6. So I'm going to do 5 or 6.6. There's 6. And that's about a third. So that's 3 1/3 rings. Just try and hit it straight forward. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I can get in the cup. I think I lost. Nope. Picked it up. Little too much backspin. Good game. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on, dude. Come on, Danny. Come on. Come on. You got to be kidding me. I have not got a single person all day. I played an hour. I posted an hour-long video in this account. And now we've played for 30 minutes. And I played this morning on my 77 account, and I have not picked up a single person that wanted to replay all day. It's just amazing. All right, here we go. Starting over again with a 50-50 chance that we're going to get Maple Bay. Maple Bay, hole 5, par 5. I don't even remember this hole. I don't remember any of these holes, really, to be honest with you, until I get to them and I go, oh, yeah, I remember that. I don't like to fill my brain full of all that stuff. Remembering the hole when you get on it is more important than somebody going, oh, yeah, remember Maple Bay, hole 5, par 5? No, I don't remember that hole. Oh, yeah, on that hole, you do this right here. Show me a picture of it, and I'll tell you exactly what you should do. Okay, the last time I came here, I went out to my spot. Because of using low-level stuff, I'm going to bring out a Marlin ball. Using low-level stuff, I find myself doing a max overpower hook shot to get on in 2. That's not good. They're going to end up in the sand or the rough. And I went out just a little too far, so hopefully I can get back in that same area again. And I'm going to bring a Marlin. I'll put on all my topspin. Pull back a little so I can adjust for the wind. It's 2.5 per ring, so that leaves me 3. I'm going to do just a little over a ring. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Just trying to get down there as far as I can and set myself up. I'm going to have to do, the only way I'll be able to get on this hole in 2 is if I do this max overpower hook shot. From that area that I'm at, if I had a Titan, I would be able to use my big dog and be able to take a straightforward shot and get on. There's also a rough bump that you can do if you're in the right spot. But my opponent, even from there, they're not going to get on. Where are they at? No, they're not going to get on. No. See if I can do not quite enough. So I'm going to do this right here. Distance does that give me? So I was out here on the sand. That was too far. So I'm going to come in 2 rings. I'm going to put my blue ring on the transition between the sand and the rough. I'm going to take the wind out. That's 1 ring. I'm going to do the max overpower hook. And see if I can catch that fairway out there and run towards the green. So little too much topspin. So I went originally, the last time I played this, I was white ring on the transition between the rough and the sand. This time I came in 2 rings and I was able to catch it. So it should be 1 ring. So it should be your clear ring down here on the transition between the rough and the sand. And probably 1 less topspin than what I put on there. And that'll bleed you right up towards the cup. With a sniper, it's white ring off the transition between the rough and the fairway. Or excuse me, the sand and the rough. But with that big dog, it's one ring in. Let's see if I can make this shot. I made it the last time I was here, which was a miracle because this club doesn't have great ball guide. Trying to get those bounces right. So 4-6 from this distance, it's going to be right towards the edge of the cup. I moved it over enough. I may have opened up a grate to the left, or excuse me, a grate to the right. I hit it perfect. Let's see if I got it right. Just a bit outside. I was trying to make it so that I could hit a grate to the right and a perfect and get in the cup. But it's hard to tell exactly where you're going because you can't see that tail flatten out on the green. The ball guide's just not quite good enough. I do like the machete though if you've got low level clubs. It is a good and the deal about a machete is you'll get on some of those some of those places where you'll need a rough iron with backspin, and you get that club relatively quickly. It's tour 3. You're going to get it up in levels real quick, and it's not a bad club. It's not the farthest hitting club in the bag, but until you get a Nirvana or you get your Razor up in level, it's not a bad choice. And if you've really got a low level account like this one, it is the choice. In the hole. Just missed the eagle. Was I 2 shots up on my opponent? I guess I was. All right. That was Maple Bay. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on. Come on, KCB. Oh, come on, dude. The first person I find that wants to replay, I'm going to invite them to our clan. Hey, hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Had a bunch of phone calls. I got 1 phone call, then I got another phone call, then I got another phone call, and I had to call somebody back to respond to the deal, and so here I am, like an hour later. All right, where were we? We're on Tour 5, trying to get some of these new holes. I have no idea what I was talking about an hour ago. Had like 27 conversations in the last hour. All right, Maple Bay, of course. Been polling my teammates and nobody is able to get replays. Nobody's giving out replays here, so we're going to end up continuing to get lots of Maple Bay holes. And of course we can get this hole tons of times. With that headwind, I will not be able to get over to the sand on the other side. Max topspin. It's a great hole for a big topper. This is, now watch, as I push it forward, it digs into the sand. As I pull it back, it gets me farther up there. So you need to be back a little bit. It's 2.5 per ring in this account, so there's 5. And that's about 3/4 of a ring. So 2 3/4. Max curl. Let her fly. I'm just trying to get to the other side. And it's got a super steep hill, so the odds that you're going to blow through, even with an upper developed big topper, the odds that you're going to blow through and end up at the top are pretty grim. The cool thing about this hole is I see a lot of people that don't figure out that when you pull back, it goes farther when you pull it back a little bit because you're on flatter ground. The farther you push it forward, the more you're down on the curvature of the course, the more it's going to dig in. And I see a lot of people just fail right on the drive shot on this hole. And you'll tend to win a lot of one-on-one because people will end up in that sand and they can't get on from there. Now, if they've got a Spitfire, if they've got upper developed clubs, it's possible to get on from there. But with lower developed stuff, it's not going to be good. All right, I'm in between clubs here. Now we're playing one-on-one, so what's the goal? The goal is to get up there and get my eagle and move along the little doggy. So I don't have to do anything spectacular here. All I have to do is just try and get up there. 1/4. It's 2.0 per ring, so that's about 3/4 of a ring. Max club or max curl. And hit it great to the left. Ended up on the fringe. Nice little chip up area. See if my opponent can get up and down. Hitting it good to the right. And they did the wise thing, though. They didn't try and do anything special. They got themselves out in the fairway, put themselves in the perfect position to try and get in the hole. I see a lot of people when they come out, they make a mistake and then they compound that mistake by then trying to do a hero shot. And sometimes it's better just to take your lumps, go out there, put yourself in a good spot, try and hit perfect, try and get up in the cup. In the hole. Getting the birdie, putting pressure on my opponent. Now they have to make that shot. So I could have, when I was doing that Saturn shot, getting in there, press the issue. But instead of pressing the issue, the whole goal is to get up there, not end up in the rough, not end up in the sand, not end up on the backside of the green. My whole goal is to put pressure on my opponent by being on the green in a very short shot and force them to make that shot. All right, winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on, you can do it. You rat bastard. All right, now we got to go back through this process again. All right, give me 1 second. I got to check this phone call. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. These telemarketers and these spam callers are getting with these robocalls are getting slick because they're using local numbers. And they're starting to tick me off. All right, let me get a chest open here. I always like to go out with at least 2 empty slots. Back on Tour 5. First day playing and almost got max trophies. Look at that. It's funny about the trophy deal when you're going up in tours. When I first started playing, I got to Tour 9. First day out on Tour 9. I won 16 consecutive matches. Won 16 in a row. And I got half the trophies in Tour 9 the very first day. And I remember my wife asking me, because I told her, I'm going to a new tour today. And she's like 2.5, just a little over 2 rings. And we were asking me, like, how did it go? And I was like, I won 16 in a row. I got half the trophies. So probably by the end of tomorrow, I'll be in Tour 10. And at that time, Greenock Point was in Tour 10. And that's my favorite course. And so I was like, yeah, I'll be able to go play my favorite course in Tour 10. And the next day I got up and they came out with I think it was the Winter Slopes or one of those new courses came out, and it was in Tour 9. And first day, half the trophies in the tour. 3 months later, I finally maxed Tour 9 out. So needless to say, I didn't have the success on day number 2 that I'd had on day number 1. It went downhill real quick. I'd get up and I'd go way down. And it was the shootouts. The Oasis used to be in Tour 9. And those Oasis shootouts just ate my lunch. What's funny is that after I finished with Tour 9, I finally figured out all of the shootouts in the Oasis. And I was like, man, I should have spent the time and figured this stuff out a long time ago. All right, let's see if I can get up here and do this little rough bump. It's a much better deal than having to do the max overpower hook. Let's see. I have no idea. That looks like way too much topspin, but it's hard to tell because we have limited ball guy with this club. So I'm at max club. It's 2.5 per ring. So half of that would be 1, 2. So we're about 2/3 of a ring. And I'm just going to hit it straight forward. I'm not trying to get anything special. I'm just trying to get up there and get on the green or right in front of it so that I have a short little chip to get my eagle. From where my opponent's at, I don't know that they have a shot. So I'm putting pressure on them by being up there. I find it's always better to let your opponent do the epic failing. And it's much better to just go out and play consistent and go from fairway to fairway to fairway to fairway and just always be in the fairway. Always using your top 4 clubs and never having to dig down into the bottom 3. Now, the only one on the bottom 3, the wedge, but talking about your sand wedge and your rough iron, I prefer never to take those out of the bag. You will find it's much easier to move up the scales if you're not having to hit rough shots all the time. They're just a little off the cup. And from this distance, I need to hit it perfect. Should hit the flagpole. In the hole. So for those of you that haven't watched my videos before, when we're working on the cup and we're up close like that, from the center of the flagpole, center of the cup, to the edge, I count that as 4 miles per hour. See if my opponent can get it in there. Phone is ringing today. Everybody's got this 3-day weekend coming up, and so everybody's trying to get everything done at the last minute. In the hole. Nice shot. Picking it up. Getting it done. Forcing a shootout. Never count your coins in this game until you see winner above your name, because people can make shots. And I'm going to have a very difficult time here because I'm going to be probably in between clubs. And on the backside with my wood, if I had a Guardian, I could just go straight at the green and backspin it and end up right at the cup. But I've got a big dog, and that's not going to do me any favors. Now this Goliath at this level, I have no idea what there's 1 ring, there's 2. So they moved about 2 rings, and we need to do an additional wind adjustment on this. I think if they hit it perfect, they're going to end up in the sand. If they hit it great to the right, they might actually do themselves some favors. Wow, I can't believe that missed the sand. Dude, you're lucky it didn't end up in the sand. I can't believe that it didn't end up in the sand. And I'm right at my red line. And that wind is definitely too big to be doing a rough bump from this area. A little bit of topspin. Everybody and their brothers calling me at the same time. 2, 4, 6, 7, 7. That's with a little bit of a wind adjustment right there. It puts me about a ring into power. I'm going to do a little bit of curl to bring it back to the cup and a little teeny bit of overpower. Hitting it great to the left, 1 ring. And just rolling it up to the cup. Hold on. All right. I think that was my pin chest right there. I'm not going to replay them because I I think that was it. All right, we played for the pin chest. So there's some more T5 in the books. Hopefully that helped. Thanks for watching.